And the thing that inspires me the most, we'll talk about, because you said it when you were 16 years old.
Yeah.
The thing that inspired me the most was your whole journey. So I think let's go all the way back. Let's go back to Russia and let's talk about where it all began for you.
Started a few companies. My main one is, I was saying to you, is about as exciting as having an accounting firm. Run an advertising agency, been doing that for the past 5 years. And from that has spawned few other businesses, a software company for agency owners, as well as an education platform for agency owners, as well as, actually I should have worn them today, as we make, I have an e-commerce brand as well, and we make these fun little blue light blockers.
What's that?
Blue light blockers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're, you know, when you're on your desk and especially at night. So I'm sure you've seen some of the hue lights.
Yeah.
It's funny because like whenever I have a girl come over to the house, you know, all the lights in my house turn red, like fully red automatically at 7:30.
Get it a bit romantic and stuff.
No, and girls come in and they're like, so why the red lights? I'm like, you want the real answer or you want the cool answer? And like, give me the real answer. And I'm like, well, red is the lowest Kelvin on the light spectrum.
Yeah.
So it helps with melatonin production. So yeah, I'm a big like sleep junkie.
You said you're very transparent, no holding back on any questions. So I'm going to jump straight to this on a very powerful note so that people know what levels we're working with. Google told me that your net worth is $25 million. Is that true?
Well, I mean, here's the thing, right? Like, I think net worth's a bit of a BS number. Because at the end of the day, usually net worth also consists of what you could sell your companies for. And, you know, I was mentioning to you earlier, you know, my agency, it can't really be sold, in my opinion. My education company, it couldn't really be sold. I guess if you take sort of the multiples you could sell it for, I could sell my education company and my agency combined probably around 50 million, but no one's going to give me that. Whereas the new agency software, obviously the play with that is to sell it within 5 years for, you know, anywhere from 50 to a few hundred million. I think for me, the best sort of estimation as to, or the most honest answer is, hey, if I had 2 weeks to sell all my stuff, how much could I have in my bank account? And that would be close to around 10.
So around 10 million, yeah.
Not as impressive.
It's still very impressive considering you're only how old? Because I don't think you mentioned that in your introduction.
21.
21 years old, and you could be worth 10 million in 2 weeks' time if you sold everything. I'm pretty much packed up.
It's okay.
Yeah. But I want to start with like where this all started. For people who follow your YouTube journey, they might know. But for people who are, you know, avid followers of Ceocast, they might actually not know who you are, what you do. So like you mentioned, you got 4 businesses. You mentioned software, education, and the agency. What's the other one?
The e-commerce brand.
And the e-commerce brand, yeah. So for the people who don't understand what an agency is, what is it you're referring to and what is it exactly do for your clients?
Yeah, so basically what we do at my agency is we work with large e-commerce brands and education companies, and sort of our philosophy is pretty simple. 90% of our revenue comes in from performance. So, you know, we'll have clients coming to us, you know, already used to spending 100K a month, bringing back in 250K a month, and they want to get to $1 million a month.
Yeah.
So in instances like that, we'll take a small base fee, and then what we do these days is, if historically they have a track record of bringing back 100K, or let's say historically they have a track record of bringing in 150K a month, return on ad spend, then we'll go, the first 150K we make you've already done that yourself. Like, we don't need to take a cut of that.
Yeah, for sure.
So we'll take a little 20% margin of safety. So we'll say the first 120 we make you is on us. And then from there, we'll take anywhere from, on the low end, 2%, on the high end, especially if it's some education companies where, you know, there's no cost of goods sold. We'll take sometimes even up to 15, 20%, but it's usually for e-commerce business, anywhere from 2 to 5% of whatever we make them on ads, minus the ad spend. So yeah, I mean, with some of our clients, we've got, you know, some of our clients, we make them $1 million a month return on ad spend. And, you know, if you're even taking 2-3% of that, and you have a few, you know, you've got 10, 15 clients, it starts to add up. So
what's your monthly income look like?
Well, as I was mentioning to you, this year it's been a little skewed. And because I've got these various businesses, so we've got something like Gray Agency where, you know, we were talking about how it's, at the end of the day, it's a business that is fulfilling to me, and it's something that gets me excited. Like, I'll be honest, and I've said this for years, and I'll say this even to my clients, like, my agency is not something where I'll be on my deathbed and I'm like, I'm so grateful that I've managed to build literally the most boring business on earth. But what that business allows me to do is allows me the free cash flow to then invest. And basically my agency is the thing that kind of pays for my lifestyle.
Yeah.
It pays for my lifestyle and allows me to put that into investments.
And the thing that inspires me the most, we'll talk about, because you said it when you were 16 years old.
Yep.
Things that inspired me the most was your whole journey. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So I think let's go all the way back. Let's go back to Russia and let's talk about where it all began for you.
Yeah, for sure. So
yeah, go on.
Yeah, basically, I mean, Khabib's done a lot for me to explain where I'm from. Before Khabib, no one really knew where Dagestan is. I'm from a place called Dagestan, Russia. Yeah. On both sides, my mom's side as well as my biological father. So easiest way to explain it for anyone who doesn't know what Dagestan is like, it's like the movie Borat, except not in Kazakhstan, in Russia. Like literally, my grandma's home, which is where I grew up for the first 4 years of my life, there's no toilet. You come outside the house, and my grandfather built the house with his own 2 hands. You come outside, you take a right, you take another right, you probably go down 15 meters, 20 meters, past the chickens, past the cows, past all the, all the crops and all the vegetables. And then you go in this little hut, you open it, you squat down, you do your business. And
what if someone's in there?
No, you'll know, there's a lock. Okay. We're not that barbaric. So, it really, I was saying to you earlier, like I had a very interesting, like there's such a juxtaposition in my childhood because, I grew up in Russia for the first 4 years of my life. And then single mom, as I mentioned to you, my father was alcoholic abusive. So, he wasn't really in the picture, thank God my mom had the bravery to leave when she did.
This is your biological father, yeah?
Yeah, my biological father. So while this is all happening, my mom's a very young mom, working 3 jobs. So kind of my grandmother and my grandfather raised me.